back, and in this segment we will be looking into the work of a young talented writer. Her name is Abdel and actually Baky, and actually May is a very bright writer and novelist. She has her novel فعل ماضي or past tense, and she will be talking about her first publication to us. Welcome with us, May.
Welcome, thank you.
If we can speak about the initiative that you have launched last year, how much have you achieved in this year?
About the novel?
Yes, no.
The novel, yes.
Yes, what about you have an initiative too. The 1,000 writers, are you part of it?
No.
No. So what about the novel?
Yes, my novel is a mixture of romance, reality, and science fiction, and also psychology. It's a big mixture, and it's coated with a layer of philosophy. And I'm trying to reach as much readers as I can. So a lot of people like different types, so I try to satisfy a lot of readers.
Now, May, when did you start writing? This is your first publication, but definitely you've been experimenting with writing before.
Yes, I've been writing all the time since I was like 5 or something, or 6. It was like a satisfaction for myself first, and it was a hard step for me to publish it because it was like a part of my soul, a private part. And being exposed to public was a very hard idea for me, but I'm giving it a try.
So your novel is about romance and philosophy at the same time, and
Yeah.
psychology.
Psychology, yes.
Yes. How did you bring together these elements at one novel?
The main character is called Madi, okay? And he's 73 years old. He's an old man. And I've been living as Madi for several months. And actually, like, Madi wrote this. I don't know. Yeah,
So we'll have to read it.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at your work, do you like to write in classical Arabic or colloquial, the simple Arabic? What's your style?
It's a classic Arabic, but it's very simple. Like, it's in between our normal accent or what we use always, and it's like a classic Arabic too.
Yes,
So
as a very young, passionate reader and writer, and of course a novelist, how do you evaluate the Cairo Book Fair that we are present now?
The what?
The Cairo Book Fair.
I guess I was surprised because there's a lot of people, a lot of readers, and I guess Egypt, the last few years, we had a lot of more readers each year. So
Yes.
this is something that you feel happy about it.
Now, your book is a paper book, and now sometimes we're saying that paper books are challenged by online books and by the PDFs of it. Do you feel that this book fair actually shows and demonstrates that still the public are interested in the paper print? And have you experimented with e-books, or is it always in paper, your writings?
Right now it's in paper, but I don't know, maybe I will publish it online. But a lot of readers actually like to hold the book between their hands. So even if it's on PDF, they also buy it as a book, as a paper book.
Yes, I think you're mainly an engineer.
Yes.
Right. So how did you mix both worlds to be a writer, a novelist, and an engineer at the same time?
Actually, it's a funny story or sad story because was my mom's wish. My dad died when I was 2 years old, and he was an engineer. And my mom wanted me to be like him or go to the same faculty, same place he used to study. It was a romantic idea from her side. And I joined engineering because of her. And after I fulfilled her wish, I started doing what I like. Because you only live once, so you should be yourself, that's it.
Now, I understand also that there is a probability that your novel might be converted into a film.
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
I have a scenarist, he's my friend, and I was just taking his opinion about my book. And after reading it, he said, I feel it. He said, I want to write it because I feel this Madi, the main character. I want to bring him on film. And he said it's going to be added value to the visual field.
Yes. You said that you started writing at the age of 5.
Yeah.
Yes. So how did you start? What made you fall in love with writing and being a novelist?
I was expressing my feelings through that way first. I was saying my day, what happened in my day first, and after that I imagined some scenes in my head, and I want to get rid of it. Like I want to get rid of it
Get
on
it
paper.
out on paper.
So I write it to
Yes.
get rid of it. That's it.
Yes. Now, also I understand that your book is nominated to a grand prize. Would you tell us about that award, please, and the nomination?
Yes, I was searching online and I found the prize. And I said, I like to try everything. And I sent them the novel. And actually they replied and they were happy about it. And they asked for the paper version of it. And I sent it. And I'm waiting. Yeah.
So you said that the novel is about psychology, philosophy, love and romance. And of course we did say that you're originally an engineer, a writer, a novelist. So you had to read about psychology and philosophy as well to be having such a novel out.
Yes, sure.
How did you do that?
I make researches and I read a lot, and actually I study from the beginning to make this novel or anything else. I always study first.
Now, I understand also that you're interested in women issues as well, and actually that a lot of the women issues and women empowerment and the psychology of women you're interested in. How do you write your characters? Like, do you study cases in real life, or do you imagine the cases? How do you work?
I make a research online and through books first, and also through engineering you will learn observation. So when I deal with someone, I always have something in my head when I leave. So I use it, or all of this go out when I start writing.
You did say that you started writing at the age of 5 because you wanted to get rid of the fears and the problems in your head.
Yes.
You wanted to get them out on paper. What is the difference between the problems that you had at the age of 5 and right now?
Oh, a huge difference.
Yes.
I cannot even compare. At first it was about my friends and my teachers, and now I think about the world, the universe, everything.
Now, what was the biggest issue? Like every novel has a plot and a peak. What was the biggest issue for Mari, your hero?
I tried to make the novel a bit logical. So this took me a long time. I even stopped writing for 3 months because I couldn't solve the problem of being logical, or to make the readers accept it, because there's a science fiction. So I needed to solve this part. It was very hard for me. So I thought about it 3 months until I tried to do it. Yeah.
So you did say that the problems have changed over the years for you.
Yeah.
What about the problems facing the society now? How do you see them? How would you try to solve them through the novels?
One of my targets to start writing or publish my writings was to encourage young people to read, because I feel this is my part. I always I tried in this novel to collect a lot of information. You'll find a lot of information inside this novel. I inserted it between the lines, so you will not feel like I'm giving you a direct information.
Yes.
And that I took care about that, and I studied it well, or I read it well, so it would be like a true, very true information.
Now, Maya, when we talk about women writers, do you feel that the issues that a woman would be concerned with would be different than if it's a man? Or do you feel that writings and thoughts are global, and no matter what the gender of the writer?
Exactly, and that's what I tried to do. I was concerned about this part. I didn't want the reader to feel like a woman wrote this one. I wanted to be neutral. If you didn't read the name, like Maya Abdel Baky, you will never know that I am a woman. And I want to go through this path all of my writings.
Yes. You said that the novel is about romance too.
Yeah.
Do you think that the world in general lacks romance?
Nowadays,
Yes.
there's no romance.
Exactly.
The internet, you always write. Actually, we don't talk to each other to express feelings. It's all written, so there's no feelings between the people right now. That's what I feel.
So, from your point of view, the social media has affected our communication.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it affected our feelings, and we became like more tough. You don't have this tenderness in you after the social media. People change, especially young people. And this is, I feel it's a bit risky.
So how can we solve that, in your opinion? Because the main character in the novel or the book is a 73-year-old man.
Yeah.
He used to live back with the romantic letters and the telephone calls and seeing each other every now and then, maybe every month for once.
Yeah.
How did he deal with that problem as a character?
I've tried to express his feelings so young people will start feeling romance again. But it's a part of the novel. If someone doesn't like romance, he will not. It will be like he can skip it.
Now, how did you find the Cairo International Book Fair? We asked you in the beginning, and you mentioned that it's a big venue. But have you looked through the various galleries? What type of books interest you? Tell us about your feedback of this year's book fair.
I was very surprised at first because there's a lot of people here in the fair. For me, I like all kinds of books. And actually, I have an issue in my head like every now and then, and I look for it. Like I want to know about psychology right now, so I start buying books about psychology, history, and so on. Every year or 2 years, I change the subject, and I started looking for it.
So what did you learn about yourself writing the novel? Specifically with the ideas of philosophy and psychology.
It came like that, like I didn't plan anything. And I was surprised myself when I read the novel now. I said, who wrote this? I don't know. It's not me. But when I start writing, I feel like I'm someone else. I'm actually the main character. And after I finish writing, I'm me again. So when I look at it, I read it as a reader, not as a novelist or something who wrote it.
Now, do you read it to your family and take their opinion when it's still a soft copy before you take it to the print? And do you sometimes change things according to the feedback, or do you keep it the way you've written it?
No, I always share it because I like readers' opinion. It helped me a lot, actually. My family and friends, they helped me a lot. And I use their idea, I take their words into consideration. And they made the novel better, actually. Their opinion made the novel better. Yeah.
Who are your idols? The ones that made you think about writing?
I don't know. About writing, I used to do it when I was young, but my mom encouraged me, actually, and this was against her thoughts about engineering, but she was encouraging me in this, both ways.
Yes.
And she bought me books when I was a little kid, and when I asked about something, because I was asking a lot of questions when I was young, and she bought me books, and she said, you will find your answer here. She always did that, so I was like, I want to know the answer. I was so excited to read it. So I started reading even in the early ages, because I want to know the information.
Yeah, so this is I'm following up on Ahmad's question, because you're saying you started reading at an early age.
Yes.
So do you have a favorite writer that you like to read for? Like, do you have a specific writer, a male or a female, that when you find that he has a publication, you just go and you buy the book, or it depends?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Dr. Ahmed Khalid Tawfiq, if you know him. Yeah, he's my idol, actually, and
Why?
I like all of his books.
Why?
I've read everything because he mixed between the entertaining part and the information part. So his novels always have a value, and that's what I like. When I finish the novel, I feel I added some information or knowledge to myself. So that's what I'm looking for. And also, I enjoy reading the book. It's very enjoyable. So I guess this is the hardest equation he could do. Yeah. So I like him so much, so much. Yeah.
So you said that it took you about more than 3 months to be writing the novel, right?
It took me a lot, but I stopped for 3 months.
You stopped for 3
Yeah.
months. So what are the upcoming plans for you? How much time would you want to be writing another novel and another book?
I don't stress myself with time because I want something to get. When I finish the novel, it would be valuable. It would be something that I'm proud of. That's what I want. So I don't stress myself with time, but maybe it will take from 6 months to a year or something.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much, and I wish you all the best of luck for your novel and your upcoming novels as well. Thank you very much, novelist and writer Maya Abdel, for this interview. Thank you for being with us. And now we will be going to a quick break, but we'll be back for more Nile Cruise from the 49th edition of the Cairo International Book Fair. So stay with us. Welcome back to Nile Cruise, coming to you from the Cairo International Book Fairground. And as you can see, we have all the live transmission of it. We can see how people are